together my own game script from all of these other scripts that I've had. So the first step was to actually start reading through every single script, line by line, word by word, make sure that I understand every single thing that it did. And my number one resource for that was the Roblox wiki, which nowadays is the developer hub. And essentially just looking through the API reference for every single thing that I did not understand. It was a very tedious process, but while doing that, I actually got quite a good hang of what every single bit of code did. And I think later that week, I was able to take the best pieces of code from each script. I understood how to tie up all the variables together. And next week, I had a working hide and seek it. It wasn't perfect, but it worked. Now, the reason why I wanted to tell you that story is because I still use this same approach today. Whenever I want to do something that I haven't yet done, or I want to work with a new API, or I want to do anything that I haven't had experience with, the first thing that I do is I'll look up a practical example of someone else who has done it to see how they implemented it, to see the types of decisions that they made when working with that feature or mechanic. And with that approach, you get a lot more experience and you really start to understand a feature or a mechanic or a new API a lot better than if you were to just read through the API documentation. By looking at what someone else has done with a piece of code or a certain mechanic, you already get a good idea of how this can be used in a game or in a script or wherever you want to apply it. And if you're watching Alvin's videos, you're already applying this on a daily basis. You're seeing someone else work with the code, you're seeing someone else work with the feature, and then after you've seen it, you go and try it yourself. Already having seen what it can do just really sets you up for success, and really helps you to understand how this can benefit your own work in your own games. And at that point, if you come across a piece of code or a snippet that you don't know how to work with, you at least have a better idea of what you want that snippet to do. So when you go look it up on the developer hub or the API reference, it's a lot easier to understand it because you have a much bigger sense of context. So that's how I started 10 years ago, and it's still the same approach that I use today. And I hope it also helps you to get a much better understanding of your code as you're writing it, even when you're working with things you have more control over.
Thanks, Wesley. You can find Wesley on Twitter at WesleyRBLX. I'll leave a link in the description. Did you notice that he said he started making Roblox games for fun?
Back then, there was no DevX. The only